Hello friends, welcome to my channel SushantChessWise. Today we are going to discuss a very interesting position, and the purpose of this position is to enhance our positional understanding. At the same time, we are trying to look at a long calculation exercise. So these kind of positions I try to use for around 1800 range players, elo rating of course, and the idea is to see that how deep they can calculate and whether they are able to mix the calculation along with positional or planning or endgame strategy. Okay, so this is the position at hand. It is black to play. Do try to calculate as much as possible along with concrete lines and then try to match with the answer. It is highly recommended for advanced players that they should set up this position on the board and try to write down all the variations. So when we write down the variations, it's better, then we can check with the solution. So black has two main candidate moves here. See, the d3 square is weak. He is eyeing that square. Main advantage is these two rooks are doubled and ready to invade the, in this case we can say the 6th rank. So if in d3 right now nothing much, white can just consider playing the move c b4 over here, or even he can play rook to b1. After the move rook d3, many suggest this, which can also be correct, because after bd3, rook d3, if king e2, then see bishop check, king moves, takes, and knight takes e4. After the knight takes, rook check, and we win the knight back and we remain a pawn up. So king f2 is forced, and then see bishop g4. Here, in fact, the right move should be e takes f4, but it may allow white to move his knight. So that is why this is not the best move order. So g4, and now white gets the move f takes e5. This is what we should not allow, because this endgame after bd1, rd1, ne4, although clearly better, is not winning. See, after rook d2 takes, kd7, kd3, ke6, ke4, timely white defends the e5 pawn. Although black has many pawn moves, white has see this idea here. After b6, h3, he will play g4, and then see after g5 or g6, just keep on playing see king to d4 and back to e4. So what will happen? We are not allowing the black king entry on the f5 square. So I think winning chances are not that great in this line for black, although he may be somewhat better. So main skill for improving positional understanding is small subtle tactics. So when we are able to mix strategic planning with precise calculation, that is where we become a strong player. All positional players are able to do that. All masters can mix up strategy, and that fits into calculation. So now see, black starts with e takes f4 first. See the precision. Firstly, of course, king takes, then rook d2. We win the piece here, rook d2, rook d2. So of course, gf is forced. After gfc, now rook d3 check, bishop takes, rook takes. If ke2 we already saw, bishop check, king moves to e1, takes, knight e4, rook check, and then see we get the knight and one more pawn out of this c4 and f4 will be lost. So 2 pawns of black becomes, and he is winning. So king f2 forced, and now g4. Now here what happened, the option to take the pawn with fe5 is gone. Is almost one, knight e6. This move is very important. See, after knight e4 here, nothing much, just king e2. So this knight e6 is actually the stunning move, forces white to advance the pawn. If ke2 here, then just knight f4 check, pawn is taken, plus the pin remains as it is on this knight, after especially king to f2. So f5 was forced, and now see knight d4, f6 forced because f5 was attacked. So pawn takes, and black had calculated all this precisely. nb3, king e2 forced, and now see rook takes, knight takes, king takes. And if you are a strong player around 2000 level, you will easily spot that this race after kd6 is always going to be favorable for black. If you can count moves, it's very easy. You will grab this pawn in 2 moves, move the king, third move, and then pawn promotes in 5 moves. So 8 moves in all, and look at white, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plus promoting this pawn, which is very, very slow. So king c3, k e6, k b4, k f6, k a4, k e5. Two options here. One is k b3, which is even worse because after k d4, k c2, we just push the f pawn. We'll first take c4, b3, k d2, k d4. Now, as it is done often, we give up this f pawn to win the b pawn and promote this c pawn quickly. So white can wait with h4 here after f5, h4, f4, h5, trying to gain space, f3, h6, f2, ke2, kc3, kf2, kb3. Here too same thing, white king is too slow. I will just show you quickly. kf3, c5, kf4, c4, kf5, c3, kf6, c2, kg7, c1, queen, king h7, and many ways exist. King takes pawn, queen takes h6, but just see queen g5. Simple technique. Whenever the pawn is on 6th rank, especially the rook pawn, this is the way to grab the pawn. So in this position, white could have tried C, king a5, but then C, f5, kb6, f4, kb7, f3, a4, f2, a5, f1, queen, very easily winning. So if you could have done all this calculation on your own fully, then I can say that your rating strength is at least 1800. This is how I try to use this kind of positions as a test position when I want to test any 1800 player around that range, and these kind of exercises I use for my students for improving their endgame play plus depth of calculation. So definitely let me know how you found this lesson in the comments below. Thanks for your time.